Hey, stars, it's me, Shorter Star, and I'm back. Listen, first off, I'm drinking me some lemon water, pretty much lemon water. And I asked you guys in the last video, what's the difference between this mug and the mug that I've been using for the past couple of months? I'm gonna give it one more video and let y'all get back to me in these comments, right? Okay, so I want to continue to thank you for your support to my channel. Please continue to like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's what I need you to do. Nothing more. It's free. Easy. One, two, three. Okay. I remember the last video we were talking about Puffy. The last couple of videos, actually, we've been talking about Puffy, right? And the thing is, I had told you in the last video that there was a request that his team, his legal team, was going to put in. And I, at the time, I didn't want to speak on it yet because I hadn't heard anyone else talking about it. And I know that that's dumb. I should be the first, but I like to be accurate with what I bring to you guys. And I wasn't sure if that was the request or even if the request was even going to be made. But however, it has been made. And Diddy's request has been denied. The judge responds to Sean Diddy Combs' request to serve his sentence at Fort Dix, a low security federal correctional facility here in New Jersey, and was to recommend a facility in the geographic location of the defense's choosing, but not the specific facility. Now, so from what I understand, I didn't think we get to choose, but maybe it's because it's feds, I don't know. But the defense gets a chance. I guess they put out a few requests, one, two, or three, and the judge will see which one fits what he wants to do or what he's giving. And Puffy's legal team put up Fort Dix, which is here in New Jersey, and the judge agreed that he agrees that Puffy should be as close to New York as possible. Um, and the reason that the defense was asking for him to be so close to New York was because his family could visit. But did y'all forget? They're rich. They're very wealthy. He could be in Alaska and they still could go and visit every day if they wanted to. Just saying. I had no idea that we could pick and choose where we went, but you can give suggestions, is what they want to call it, and that's fine. So the judge denied the first suggestion, which was Fort Dix. So he's given them until the noon on October 10th to come up with a new place, and the judge will look it over and see if he agrees with it. But again, I never knew we got the pick. I thought, we something happens, we do a crime, something happens, and we have to deal with it. That's what I thought. That's just me, just me. I don't know how many of you guys, because I haven't heard much about it. I am aware that Rihanna gave birth to her third child with rapper ASAP Rocky, right? And what I'm finding out, which is what I knew in the first place. Well, apparently she made her first public appearance because ASAP Rocky's birthday was last week. So apparently she gave him a party, and they have a picture of her and him in a convertible. And she still looks like when someone has a baby, they're still kind of puffed, a little swollen, and she looks like she's working on that. But yeah, the thing was that she gave birth to her third child, which is a baby girl, and her name is Rocky Irish Myers, right? And the funny thing was that she was able to keep it a secret as long as she could because she didn't announce that she gave birth until September 24th, but she actually gave birth September 13th. So she announced it 11 days after. So, which was hey, the fact that Rihanna was able to keep that under wraps for 11 days, I have nothing to say. And it seems like she's doing things on her own terms. Let's not forget she is a billionaire, so she can definitely afford as many kids as she wants. And she's doing it on her terms, regardless of what people think. Because I've heard people say, well, why isn't she married and why haven't they gotten married? Marriage isn't for everyone. That's just it's not what it used to be. And, the people that are saying those things and trying to stick to those things, you got to come into the light, Caroline. Like for real, things have changed. People are having complete families and having complete families made up in labs. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. At this point, from what I understand, allegedly, you can pick the sex of your child. You can pick the eye color. It's certain things you can just do down genetically that was never even thought of or was sci-fi to us, right? So, congratulations to Rihanna and ASAP Rocky for having a healthy baby girl. Um, Now, I have a story on Elon Musk, which is a little crazy for me. How many of you guys actually know of Elon Musk's father? Um, Elon Musk's father is called Elon Musk, and he's 79 years old. I'm going to bring up a picture so we know you can put a picture to it, a face to it. And I'm going to talk about something that's been talked about and been floating around since the 90s. And I want to know why we haven't heard that much of it. I've heard a little bit of it, but not as much as we would think that we would have. Okay, so um, we're going to start this and then we're going to go into it. A dark history. The New York Times did a report, another story on Elon Musk, Elon's father, about 2 weeks ago. And the New York Times details chilling child sexual abuse allegations against Elon's father, Errol Musk. And this is Errol, as you can see in the picture. I think they're favored. He just looks like a really older version of Elon, if you ask me. Um, and let's get this out. Let's get out of this picture and let's get into the story. Um, Errol Musk, like I stated, is 79 years old. Of course, he's the father of tech magnate Elon Musk, and he's been accused of sexual abusing five of his kids and stepkids, an allegation stretching back to 1993, according to reports by the New York Times released on last Tuesday. Now, referencing the study of personal correspondence, emails, police reports, and interviews with family members, the report alleges Errol Musk has a strong hold over a lot of his family. The first reported case was in 1993 when his 4-year-old stepdaughter alleged he touched her inappropriate at home. 10 years later, the same stepdaughter accused Errol Musk of smelling her dirty underwear. So apparently, she's saying that she caught him smelling her underwear. Other relatives also have accused him of assaulting two of his daughters and one of his stepsons. This is something that I really didn't hear much of. I had heard a little bit of something, but then I didn't know how true it was. And yeah, these accusations and things go back to the 90s. TMZ has done reports. New York Times have done more than one report. Um, Accusations including inappropriate touching and other forms of abuse. Um, yeah, and like they said, his earliest victim, it was back in 1993. Alleged victim was one of his stepdaughters, and she was 4 years old. And then again, 10 years later, when she was 14 years old, she alleges that she caught him smelling her dirty underwear. I don't know. Um, hmm. What do you think about that? What does that mean to you? Does it matter, or do you, or just makes you think the family is more weirder than you may have thought? Allegedly, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I just wanted to put it out there. I came across it and I thought it was weird. The fact that I live here in New Jersey and it's the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area, the FAA has added Newark Liberty International Airport to the list of airports facing controller shortages due to the government shutdown. Now, mind you, they were short of staff before the government shutdown. So the shortage has been a persistent issue at Newark, leading to longer ground waits and rerouting flights. The FAA approach and departure facilities in Newark, Boston, and Las Vegas, and other airports are short staffed. Um, this is this has a lot to do with the government shutdown. But again, we've been talking about FAA. On this channel, we've been talking about the airlines and planes and different things since the beginning of the year, since this administration took office. So now that we've been in I don't remember what day we're in the government shutdown, but it's been a little while. Now, the last government shutdown we had, I think it lasted 31 days. So we'll see. But You have to be even more careful. When there wasn't a government shutdown, we had mad issues with airlines and flying. Now there's a shutdown, and they're even more short-staffed because what they're saying is the TSA agents aren't getting paid. So those that are working. I don't want to use the word free because that's against the law to work for free, but I don't know what they're being paid, but they're not being paid regular salary because of the government shutdown. So those that are there are working, and those that aren't are home getting paid. So with that being said, hold on, and I'll get right back to you. I'm back. So again, we were having problems with the airports and flights and planes and engines and like I told you just a few stories ago, they tried to shut down the two planes that collided. One was leaving, one was coming, arriving, and that happened at LaGuardia Airport last week. And they tried to like talk it down. And I told you that I had a interview. I had saw an interview with some passengers that were there, and they were like, it just wasn't just a little collision. Actually a half of a wing was taken off the plane. One of the other wings from the other plane went into the fuselage of the other plane, which is where the gas is. They said that they were damaged. They was damaged where the pilots and co-pilots sit up in the front cabin. I don't know. So that's a lot going on. So like I said, just choose carefully, be careful, and stay prayed up. That's pretty much what I can suggest to you. Now, I know that a lot of us are familiar with Tyrese, right? Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Gibson from the Transformers, Tyrese Gibson from Fast and the Furious, singing Tyrese. The back of the bus with the Coca-Cola, right? I think that was what it was when he was singing. Well, I don't know if you guys heard, but he has a home in LA and he has a house in Atlanta and I'm sure other places. However, one of his dogs got loose in his house in Atlanta, and apparently the grandmother stays on the property where this happened. And apparently there's been a problem with he has a dog and it gets out a dog or two allegedly he has the dog and they seem to get out and they kind of go through the neighborhood and well apparently this give me 1 second people. No, I don't need that. I need this. Okay, so apparently allegedly one of his dogs got out. As this has been an ongoing problem here at his estate in Atlanta. And I mean, again, he doesn't live in a complex. These are big estates. And apparently his dog got onto someone else's estate and unalived someone else's pet, right? So in Atlanta, because it's been an ongoing issue with, his dog getting out, and I don't think this is his main residence, so I don't know who's in control and who isn't in control, right? But they released the footage from the police cams because what happened was the dog got out, and once they realized who dog it was, and because this dog they've had dogs with the issue before. Now, mind you, this search of his estate went down on the 22nd, but the attack for the dogs actually happened, I believe, on the 20th. Actually, it happened on the 18th. So September 18th, Tyrese's dog got out and terrorized and unalived another neighbor's dog. And apparently, it's been something ongoing with his dogs getting out and pretty much terrorizing the neighborhood, right? So um, they put out a warrant for Tyrese's arrest because they feel like he's not handling the issue. And this is what this story is starting with was that Tyrese's grandmother was detained during the raid of his home. As you can see, TMZ reported, that's who I have to give credit to. They had people on the scene and they detained like when we saw Puffy's house get raided, and of course this was something different. Of course this was something with animals and things like that. But and Puffy thing was guns and drugs and sex and just Hollywood, right? So it was a lot. But you saw how they treated the people that was on property when the raid went down. They detained you. You cannot leave. You cannot go and sit in the corner. Most of the time they handcuff you and they take you to a safe part so they can do their searches and whatever. And this is a picture of. Well, they blurred out her face, of course, but it's grandmother. She looks like she's in a nightgown and a robe, and they have her in the back of this black SUV, and I can't tell if she's handcuffed or not, but it looks like she may be handcuffed. But I don't see why they would need to handcuff this older woman. But let's see. I'll let you tell it, and you can go to TMZ to see if you want to see more. But yeah, this is what it is. Look at that. That's her the um in the back of the black SUV, and they detained her. So they again, like I said again, they put out a warrant for Tyrese arrest, and he turned himself in. This is from the Fulton County Police and the Animal Services. They put out a warrant for Tyrese's arrest, and his mugshot doesn't even look like a mugshot. I can show you that too. It looks like he just woke him up. He's like, man, let's take this picture and get it over with. But nevertheless, this is Tyrese mugshot, and it says, as reported, Tyrese was arrested and he was booked for animal cruelty on last Friday. He posted $20,000 bond and was released. The dogs are being accused of unaliving another dog, and it says dog. So apparently, the issues have been with more than one pet. So now it's dogs. It's not just one dog that gets out; it's two dogs that gets out and terrorize the neighborhood. So it says the dogs are accused of unaliving another while running around his neighborhood unattended late at night, and they arrest you. So that's what happened. So they arrested Tyrese. Like I said, he posted a $20,000 bond. He has to go to court, but they detained his grandmother, not mama. They got Nana detained in the back. Sure, I know she is over Tyrese. She said, you went from singing in the back of a bus to have me sitting in the back of a bus. Okay. Well, look, that's what I got for you guys. I want you guys to continue to enjoy this work week, vacation week, whatever the week is for you. And I love you guys, and continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Love you guys. Until next time, be intentional.